Always great catching up with Jett Grande, who's going to be back in action. Unified MMA 45 live on UFC Fight Pass. It's going to be taking on Colton Boxel. Jett, how are you, man?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm just finishing up the last training session or two, and then just weight cut and then ready to fight. So
and making time for interviews, which I appreciate, man.
yeah.
So it's always good to see you and catch up with you, man. So this is a catchweight fight at 165. What's the reason for that? Was that on your end or his end? How did why a catchweight?
Well, honestly, it was hard to find an opponent. So like, I just moved up a little bit, to be honest. I had a fight scheduled for 155 for this event, but the guy unfortunately had to pull out. So now I'm fighting Colton Boxel at 165. So
Gotcha. I wasn't sure. I kind of figured that's the case, especially on the regional scene. I know how tough it is for you guys to get opponents. So just glad we're going to see a fight there. When did you find out about the fight? Like the opponent, the catchweight, the switch up, how much notice did you get for that?
I got about a month out, so wasn't too bad.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That's good. And right amount of time off in between fights, especially with this one not being that far away from home.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good to, I'm staying active, but with that said, I had a little bit of time off since my last one, so a little bit of time to recover and, tune up some things and, heal some injuries. So yeah, it'll be good. Yeah, I feel ready.
Now, we couldn't talk about this fight without talking about your last fight, man. First round TKO finish over Stephen Thomas. Could that fight have gone any better, man? You don't get paid by the hour.
Yeah, it's good. You get in and out, doesn't get much better than that, to be honest. In and out, first round finish. Don't take any damage, which is really good.
Yeah, that's the key thing more than anything is being healthy, right? Because I know sometimes you'll get a win, maybe you don't come out unscathed.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Good, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Just in and out, and against a good opponent too. So
yeah. Well, that must have been satisfying as well, just because, again, like we know how good you are. We know how much time you've been putting in, and to go out there and get a first round finish. That's like the equivalent of like taking a test and getting like an A+, right? Like, again, first round finish always looks good on the resume.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah.
Good, man. Well, that's awesome.
I have a lot of decisions, so I'm glad to get a couple finishes of these last two. So.
Yeah, is that like a weight lifted off your shoulders too? Just because I know you feel like you can finish your opponents, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. I'm sure to get that finish, it's got to be a little bit less pressure off, just because again, it's it's not something you have to worry about.
Yeah, absolutely. Like and that's what a lot of the things these people look at is how many finishes you got, and yeah, it's nice to get a couple finishes. And honestly, I'm not. Like I know I'm good at it. I can take fights to decision, but like honestly, if I don't have to, I don't want to. I'll finish it.
Oh, of course. Yeah, exactly. No, like I said, if this was a sport where you got an hourly wage, different story. But obviously, with this, you get paid the same amount whether you win in 50 seconds or 15 minutes, right? So it's all good. Let's talk about your opponent, Colton Boxel. I mentioned him off the top. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
Oh yeah, he's super tough. He's good. He had a good amateur career. He's like 5-2 amateur. He went to Worlds too as an amateur. Fought Brandon Allen, so he's UFC, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, really good. He's got good jiu-jitsu. Good on the ground. He's primarily a grappler. Most of the fights I see him, he tries to take people down. His last fight was I watched it. A lot of striking in it. So yeah, he's good. He's tough. I'm prepared for the best of him. But yeah, I think I match up really good against him, style-wise and physically. So yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I must have glanced over that he fought Brendan Allen at the IMMAF 2015 World Champion.
Yeah.
Granted, that was back in 2015, but still to have that experience against a UFC vet is always good on the resume. So at least you knew that. Of course, you're doing your homework. Of course, you got you got the opponent there, which makes sense. What about training camp? Who have you mainly been working with ahead of this fight on Saturday?
Well, actually, I think it was about a month ago. I was in Vegas training at Syndicate, so I was getting.
Oh, were you? Oh, cool.
Yeah,
okay.
I was doing really good work over there. Training with Brandon Jenkins, Jordan Leavitt, whole bunch of those guys at Syndicate. Under John Wood, of course. Really great team down there.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
And
then
good weather. Let's be honest here. Vegas has got some pretty good
yeah,
weather, you know, so that's a big selling
good
point too.
weather. Yeah.
What was the connection to Syndicate? How did you end up training there?
Honestly, I just actually I first went there in November, and for my last fight, and I went down there. I didn't really have much. Oh, actually, no. I'm pretty good friends with Alex Martinez, so I hit him up.
Oh, awesome.
And
Okay.
yeah. So he kind of got me in that way, and then
That makes
it was
sense.
a
And
good
Alex, of course, is managed by Ruby Sports, and Daniel Rubenstein
yeah,
lives in Vegas. And I know he has a lot of
yeah,
connections to Syndicate. He reps a bunch of
yeah,
fighters that are from that gym.
yeah,
So that kind of makes
yeah,
sense. Well, that's cool.
yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
good, man. That's
Yeah.
great. So, I mean, how confident do you feel going into a fight like this, getting to train with UFC level guys and getting to go with
Yeah.
them in camp? And then you get to come into this fight and it's like, I've already just, sparred with some UFC guys, right?
Oh, it's huge actually. I like I know I can hang with the best, so like it's really big for me. So, you know,
Yeah.
uh, I've been putting the work in, so yeah, it's gonna be good. I feel
And you
ready.
mentioned the Monkey King there, Jordan Leavitt.
Yeah.
Is there like a nicer guy out there? I swear he must be part Canadian or something. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, he really is super nice. Like nicest guy. Like he'll take the time out of the day. Like if you got a question about technique, he'll help you out and super good to spar with. Like yeah, there is not a nicer guy than him for sure.
That's great, man. And any plans to go back there after? It sounds like if you went in November and you went for this camp, is this going to be like a regular thing?
Yeah. We'll see what happens after this fight.
Mhm.
But yeah, I definitely will go back there for sure. But I just want
Good.
to win. Yeah.
Weight cut must be going well, not having to cut all that extra weight, right?
Yeah. It's pretty easy. So yeah,
Good.
it'll be good. Yeah.
Who will be in your corner for this fight?
Basically my coach Gary Vig here under Rashido, and then Chris Chapman, and then Stephanie Asenza.
Love it. And how's this fight playing out on Saturday? How do you see it going down?
Can go. I don't know what round. It could be the first, could be second, could be third, but I'll probably finish with a KO or a TKO.
Love it. Yeah, keep the momentum going. Might as well,
Yeah.
right? Keep things simple,
Yeah.
which is great. And what are the plans the rest of the year? I mean, the nice thing about Unified is they're putting shows on all the time, so that's nice that you don't have to, like they're going to look for local guys like yourself. Is the plan to just keep active, build up that resume?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan. Build up the resume and see what happens from there. So yeah, just keep on building it. And yeah.
Now I got to ask, as an Alberta guy, you've been watching the Battle of Alberta, the NHL playoffs at all, or has that been on your radar at all?
Not too much. I've been following a little. Yeah, Oilers are up 2-1, right? Is that right?
Yeah, they are. They won last night. Even though Lucic took a run at the goalie there, maybe he should be doing some MMA. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. My dad has been watching hockey, so I've been watching it a little bit, but yeah, I don't. I'm not.
Yeah, I know you're not like a huge fan. I just have to listen. I'm a big hockey fan, so I did insert that, especially with it being in Alberta. Like, if the Oilers were playing, like, I don't know, like St. Louis or something, I don't think it'd be as big a deal.
It's big. I get it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Even as
I think it's awesome. Like, I would assume even as a casual fan like yourself, I'm sure like that's caught your attention a little bit just because it's Calgary and Edmonton, right? So
yeah, for sure, absolutely, yeah.
And just sort of last question here, you're building up the resume really good, and I know this is something we've talked about before, but I imagine Contender Series, that's something you're looking at, in the next bit, just if you keep racking up these finishes, is that kind of what you're looking at as far as sort of the next step after this? Because you've been obviously keeping very active.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I love Unified as an organization. I want to fight for them as long as I can. But yeah, the next step obviously is UFC Contender Series, like
all
either
that
or.
stuff.
If I can just get in the UFC, that'd be cool.
Take a straight approach there. No, that makes sense. But you got to imagine too, the fact that Unified is on Fight Pass, that's got to be good for you too, because I mean, it's under the UFC Fight Pass umbrella. So I'm sure when the UFC is trying to scout prospects, they're going to look at a guy like yourself and, hey, he's got another finish, like that. That always looks good, I'm sure. So at least you're with a promotion that has that platform, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's huge for me. UFC Fight Pass, you're already out there. You're already like building kind of like a resume under the UFC brand almost, and can watch you. A lot of people can go on UFC Fight Pass, look up your fights. I think it's big. So
it is. And this is a big fight, man. I'm looking forward to it. Unified MMA 45, May 27th. If you live in the area, go check. Why would you not watch regional MMA? That would be my first question. Second question, if you can't, why don't you have a UFC Fight Pass subscription? You got to watch it on there too. Jett, thanks for doing this, man. Always a pleasure. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all my sponsors for supporting me. Thank you to my friends, coaches, training partners for getting me ready for this fight. And if you want to give me a follow, it's Jett MMA on Instagram, Jett with 2 T's, and then it's I have Jett Grande on my Facebook athlete page as well. If you want to give me a follow, so yeah, that's all I gotta say.